I hope that you've had a better start to the day and even hoping to have a better week. Now, today on the show, we want to talk about how important service to humanity is, and we're just looking at one specific organization who are lending a helping hand, and this is through one project at a time. All right, and we'll be diving deeper into that conversation, because in this day and age where there's so many things that are happening, not only in the country but also across the globe, kindness is one of the things that will bring us together, and this is as far as hoping to serve humanity and lending a helping hand. And of course, that is important in so many ways, because there's some people who have, others do not have, and others would rather have that help that they need at the time that need the most. So then how do we come together to support one another and stand with one another and show each other kindness? That is what we want to delve deeper into the show today, right here on a Monday. And I'm really happy because it's such a positive way to start the weekend. This is preaching the message of hope and kindness to one another. To help us with that conversation, we have Mr. Mukesh Desai, who is the Charity Projects Coordinator, Giants Group of Nairobi. Twiga, good to have you this morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, fine. I mean, it's a morning, Monday, and looking forward to a great interview.
Absolutely. Are you happy to be here on a Monday morning?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, the weekend is always good, but right? Monday, sometimes it's dull.
It's dull. And we're happy that, you came really this morning to help us just have a conversation about humanity and how we can all be part of this very important and noble cause, and that is helping one another, and especially during the times of need. But before we talk about all those things, can we just get to understand Giant Groups, Giants Group of Nairobi, Twiga? Can we just get to understand at the very basic level, what is it that you guys do?
So Giants Group Twiga, as we call it, Twiga is of course a giraffe. We look, it's tall, and we always look forward.
Yeah.
Far beyond.
Yeah.
And together with Giants Twiga, I'm also involved with the Vanik Vaishnav Mahajan and also Lord Mahavi Swami followers.
Yeah.
So together, we are doing projects based on charity. And we've been doing this since last 20 years or more.
Yeah.
And basically our main focus is on education.
Okay.
That's where our focus is there. But of course, our projects depends upon what is the situation on the ground, and then we come back for it and go for it.
All right. So education. I mean, and like you said, you have been in this just doing charity work, doing philanthropy work for over 20 years now, with a very special emphasis and focus on education. Why specifically on education? Because there's so many other areas that I'm pretty sure you also invested in, but education is at the core. Why exactly education?
I think educating a child brings up the family.
Yeah.
And we found that it's time that we have our children educated in all fields, of course. When we are visiting schools and meeting the parents, normally our schools where we visit, the parents are casual workers doing normal. When we talk to them and tell them why do they bring the children to school? So they said, we don't want our child to live a life we have lived.
Okay.
And we want to see that. And I'm very happy and also proud to say that Kenyan parents are going out of their way to see that the child is educated.
That's true.
And when we go to the schools and then I talk to the students, I tell them, your parents are sacrificing so much to see that you are educated. So please don't take them for granted. That's one of our main core, why we took up education as one of the biggest projects we are doing.
That's true. I mean, having educated population help to improve, literacy in so many other areas. But even as parents struggle to bring up their kids, and not only in a safe environment, but also be able to provide, to their needs. And one of the things is education, because it's also enshrined in the Constitution that every single child has a right to education and quality education at that point. But what are some of the biggest challenges that even as parents strive to, make sure that the children get quality education? What are some of the biggest challenges that, that is parents and even the children experience during this time when they're trying to get the best?
Yeah, The challenges are, of course, fees and uniforms and other amenities which their parents have to pay for. Although we say that primary school is free, it's not free.
Yeah.
The parents have still to contribute something. Our secondary education, although it's, a parent pays for a year 60,000, which includes boarding fees, sometimes they're struggling to pay for that.
That is true.
So what we do also, we provide scholarships to deserving students. And the other thing we do is that we provide textbooks to schools so that it supplements the government's efforts. The government is also providing, of course, but before it used to be that the ratio of books to students was 1 to 10, 1 to 15. So we try to bring it to 1 to 3. But now with the new CBC curriculum, I'm thankful to the government that most of the schools have received the books 1 to 1. There is another part of the education sector which is very close to our hearts, is the special needs children's schools.
Yeah.
So 6 years back, one of our donors, who's Lord Mavi Swami followers, we did a research and then found that special need children are being kept home because they're taken as, sorry to say, useless. And the other child is taken to the schools. So when we went to these special needs schools, we saw that number of students are very low. And we asked the principal what is happening. They said they're just kept at home because the parents can't pay the fees. So we have come on board since last 6 years. And today we are paying part fees for about nearly 5,000 students in about 160 special needs schools with boarding facilities. So what has happened is that the students are now able to study. They are special, but they can do anything a normal child can do.
That's true.
So the other thing, because it's a boarding facility, they get food and everything. And also, of course, accommodation. So, and it helps the child. And we have seen that a child of that stature can develop mind, and his or her is as good as any other child.
That's true. That's true. And there's so many facets, again, like you said, to education. It's not just going to school and getting the education that they need, but there's so many other things, that come across. And I mean, there's some children who would go to school and have nothing to put, in their mouth. They do not have food. Like you said, they do not have books. Others do not have uniforms. Others do not have the learning materials that they need, and this in one way or the other impairs their education, right? And when you're talking about the special needs as well, we have seen it, especially when it comes to like public schools. The private ones, yes, they might have their own challenges, but for public schools, first of all, there's that it's not enough in number, and number two, like you said, it might be expensive for so many parents to afford the school fees. But even so, like you said, a lot of parents are not aware that, they're actually special schools for these learners who are very special, but they're also able to do almost anything, a child would do. So aside from the fees, right, what are some of these other challenges that they experience, both the parent and even the learners as well?
The other challenge is, we found the child coming to school, walking 5 kilometers from his or her house without any breakfast, because most of the parents are casual workers, and it all depends what the parent brings in the evening. So we started a project called the Uti Feeding Project, which is our signature project, and that has brought a big impact to the schools, to the environment and everything. So we now do about 25,000 students in 30 schools countrywide, and with that project we have students coming in because they know they're going to get something, a cup of uji, which will take them up to 4 o'clock, because they don't know that in the evening they will get something for supper or not.
That's true.
So that project has taken off very well, and it was a project which was started by me, my wife, and who is also the chairperson of Giants Twiga, and my very good friend who is no more with us, Girish. And we are happy to say that the child is so happy that if you see it, I believe that, you know, that happiness in the child and the blessings which we get, I think we can get it nowhere.
That's true.
And that project is very much close to my heart. And we intend to do it to increase more schools. But sometimes logistics and everything cannot work because all our projects are one-to-one.
Okay.
We go on the ground and we monitor the schools and everything. Like we are doing this, we started 3 months back a blanket distribution project where we are distributing blankets to primary school students. And we go to places as far as Marsabit or Mombasa or Kilifi and Voi or Amboseli. And we do that distribution one-to-one so that the child gets it and takes it home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much we can do for our children because they are the future of our country.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And again, that's not all. We also do distribution of sanitary towels as well to the girls, because I know this is at the core of Giants Trigger, and that is to empower every girl child. So how is that going?
Oh, it's going very well. And you see, when we do this also, we started about 13 years back with 50 girls. And then now we are nearly 5,000 girls we support all over the country. We started in a small way because we wanted to see how we can be able to distribute and everything, because logistics is an issue. We found that, you know, a girl is absent in a month at least 3-4 times.
Okay.
And she faces so much of issues. And we thought this is the best way. And we got in teachers so that they can also educate the girl, because some of them were using it for the first time. And now it's running so well that we have, I mean, the absentee is less than 2%. And that has also helped the girl for better focus during her studies. And even the boys, you know, we are trying to educate them that this is a natural thing, and then they should not be laughing or doing something like that, because it can be their sister, it can be their friend, everything, anybody. So it's also, I mean, necessary for us also not just to give something, but also to educate and say that this is the impact it will bring in.
Not just give them fish, but also show them
how to fish.
How to fish, absolutely. Okay, and it's very important because, again, like you're saying, a lot of girls would miss 45 days, you know, in a month, and this is as far as school is concerned. And there's a whole, you know, circle to the same, not just miss school, but there's also the whole question about period poverty. Others are, you know, there's the risk of STDs and STIs or early pregnancy, because some of them are lured into, you know, all these other activities just to get that single pad. So it's a beautiful thing that you're saying. We're also involving the boys to say, listen, don't just laugh, but support, offer support when you can, which is very important. And this, again, in one way or the other, helps to keep the girl at school, but also involve the boys, so that even when they grow up, they would know, listen, this is a natural thing, and we should offer as much support as we can. And you not only just focus on schools alone, but there's also the whole aspect about the young people. And we all know there's so many challenges that are facing young people, and one of the things is drug use and abuse. NACADA just released a report over the last 5 years and how the trends have been. And one of the things that was very concerning is the age of initiation. Right now is at 6 years of age, which is very concerning, wouldn't you say? For a young child to be exposed to all those things and even have their first, you know, either alcohol or cannabis, you know, taste the same.
I think drug is a big menace in our country, and as you say, rightly said, you know, NACADA's report, which was just recently, I think it was released last week. I mean, it sends shivers down anybody. So 1.5 years back, we joined hands together with NACADA and of course Ministry of Education, because education is also our main focus, and we started a project called where we are distributing drug-related banners to schools, and which gives messages to the students that what are the effects of drugs taking. And we have distributed nearly 10,000 banners to secondary schools in all 47 counties, and we are also continuing this project. With that, what we are telling teachers and head teachers is that every week during an assembly time, they give out the message to the students that the effects of the drugs and what it can happen. You see, drugs is just like buying a new mobile phone. People want to try out. The students, because of peer pressure, because of social media and everything, they get into it to just try out and see that if I get high, it is good. Yeah. That is what the message normally says. I think we as Kenyans, as a society, as a community, as church leaders or religious leaders, we can say it is our duty to take the message to our youngsters, especially. And also, youngsters means even we have issues of people as older as 65 years taking drugs. Yeah. Because of all types of issues. It may be stress, it may be work related, it may be family related, and I think it should start from the root. The root is the family. If parents take an initiative to see, if a child is taking a drug, he or she, the behavior is different.
Changes,
and that's where the parents come in. We just go out when we are talking to the community that you should be checking your child's bag to see what is inside, and you should be monitoring. A parent can monitor the behavior of the child.
And you would know when
definitely,
something is not
and also
right.
The environment at home should be conducive. If a parent is taking drugs or even alcohol, naturally it's going to the child will feel that it's it's just like having a bottle of soda.
You know what I've seen some families say, oh, but this is apple juice for adults. This is apple juice for a young child. But at the end of the day, children are very curious and they'd want to know, so how different does this apple juice, or this juice for adults taste as compared to, this one for younger children. But even so, like you're saying, there's so many things, driving factors to, again, drugs and alcohol abuse, but specifically to the young people, what are some of these issues that, or challenges that the young people go through that they would find themselves, finding solace in drugs, for example? Majority of them would say unemployment, right? So what are some of these issues that really...
I think the other issue is academic. If a student is not performing well, and that is also one of the reasons also. Family issues also, and then personal issues, like somebody is having an affair and then that affair goes away. That can also be one of the issues facing a drug. But to me, it seems that it's from the family root it starts.
The root
everything.
cause is the family.
And we as a parent, we can stop it. But it's difficult. In some cases, it has reached a very high level. And unfortunately, we don't have much rehab centers where the services can be provided free. The rehab centers which are there are mostly owned by private people and expensive. So that's why we have taken one step forward also, that we have started distributing these banners to our universities, to medical centers all over the country, because that's also where this is a big menace. We have talked to the deans, to the lecturers, and they say that the issue is very big there. And I think in those institutions is more of peer pressure. Oh, you're not having this, then you are not mature, or then you're not 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So, but I think because the president has also is said also that the vice president has talked about it, and it's joint effort by us all. We'll not be able to completely wipe out, but I think we can bring it to a level where it will not affect our youths, who are the future of our country.
That's true. I mean, and they have a very special plus, because again, majority of them would say, listen, we're the leaders of today, not tomorrow, and would want to be part of this, conversations as well. So I'd want to imagine you also involve a lot of young people, because speak to them, they'll say one of the things is that there's that separation. People do not speak our language, so sometimes it's very difficult for us to, first of all, get what you're saying and all those things. So I wonder if this is the case, very quickly before we go on a break, and that is to speak to the language that they understand, and using their peers to tell them, hey, listen, this is bad, this is not right.
Yeah, I think that's, you got a valid point there. And what happens is that there is sometimes they got in mind a celebrity, and they think, oh, if they are taking it, I should also be taking it.
Yeah.
So the celebrities, the ones who our youngsters love, I think they should also come out and say, no, this is not right.
Yeah. We can have fun without necessarily
having them.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's also very important. And I'm sure that if the government, through let's say the media, can bring on those celebrities in getting the message out, will help also.
Yeah.
I mean, our banners are there, but still we need more to do so that our youths are protected. We are ready to give banners, put up banners in all parts of our country, in all places, billboards and everything. But if you get the support from the county governments, then it will be helpful, because billboards are expensive.
Yeah.
There is a monthly charge.
Yeah.
But some of our, we have talked to the owners of the billboards, they said that we are ready to give you that free, provided the county government doesn't charge us the license fee.
Ah, there's that part.
So
Okay.
what we have to do is just make that flexi. But it's difficult. So we also urge the county governments to come to us and tell us that, okay, we are ready to partner with you,
Yeah.
by not charging you license, and then we put up the billboards and say the message.
Yeah.
Like we recently we put up the banners at the, JKIA, which is I mean, the place where it's transit.
There's
I mean,
a lot of traffic there.
we just read in the newspapers last week that somebody caught with that. So we are ready to partner with the media, with the government in providing materials for whatever we can.
It's important, I mean, to pass this message as often as we can. We don't just talk about it on one single occasion, but every single time we have an opportunity, either through a banner or through a conversation, so that we really get to understand the impact as far as drugs are concerned. But you're also heavily invested in health as well, and we'll talk about that after the break. We're talking about prosthetics as well, which you all know how expensive that can be for so many people. So we'll talk about that again after the break. And this is as far as important, when you're talking about partnerships as well, and how we can all join hands, and this is in supporting one another through kindness, so that we can, again, because there's so many things that are happening, difficult times. There's some people who are experiencing more tougher times as compared to the others. So then what can we do, all of us, as far as holding our hands and supporting the people who are within us and within our reach as well. We'll be talking more on the same after the break. Stay with us. This is Your World.
your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin.
Exponential potential.
Good morning and welcome to The Morning Fix. This is the show where we do ukarabati wa asubuhi. My name is Mariam Bashar.
And the most bankable host, Brian Aseli. Good morning, my neighbors!
Get up and get ready for the most electrifying morning show on your airwaves. Mariam and Aseli on The Morning Fix every weekday from 6 to 10 a.m.
I think Uganda is the only country that they can actually do a musical. All of them. Because they speak funny.
No.
They speak funny.
Umeshapatana mkisi wewe.
Otagwesta.
Only on 96.3 Nation FM.
All that talk about the best.
It's Bata's birthday month and you can enjoy free shopping of up to 500 bob. Offer starts at 2,499 only. Visit your nearest Bata store today. Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin. It's Bata's birthday month and you can enjoy free shopping of up to 500 bob. Offer starts at 2,499 only. Visit your nearest Bata store today.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. It is a Monday and we want to start the week on a positive note, and this is as far as holding each other's hand. All right, and this is as far as service to humanity is concerned, because again, like we said when we started the show, we are in difficult times, and like I said, there's some people who are feeling it much more as compared to the others. And what is it that we can do as a people? Because sometimes people tend to ask, so what is it that I can do? Well, not to worry, because that is what we're focusing today on the conversation, and that is our individual effort and together as a group, you know, just to understand how then we can help a lot of people who are in need. From, again, education. We're talking about our children who are in schools. Some go to school with, you know, or on empty stomachs. Others don't have the school uniforms. Others don't have shoes. And we're talking about, you know, our neighbors as well. I'm pretty sure you know of a family or two that, you know, sometimes they need your help, but still we tend to ask, what is it that we can do? Okay, so today we're talking about the role of partnerships and also understanding how important service to humanity is and what we can do as a people to support one another. And today we have Mr. Mukesh Desai, who's a charity projects coordinator at Giants Group of Nairobi, Twiga, here to also help us understand what exactly they're doing in several areas and several projects as well to help the people who are in need the most. And before we went on a break, we're talking about how sometimes persons living with disabilities might have, you know, issues here and there. Others would need prosthetics, and we all know how expensive that can be. So do you want to take us through, you know, that particular project and why it is very important to you?
I think that's a valid. We have just launched another project which we are doing on the 23rd and 24th of September at SSD Temple Complex, which is on Lower Kabete Road, where we'll be fitting 250 people with either a leg or an arm, or even 2 legs or 2 arms. And on Sunday, that is 24th, we'll be having new people. I mean, I can't call them patients, but new persons coming in, whom will be taking measurements. And then after 3 months, there will be another camp where we'll be fitting. So this project, which is very close to the hearts of our donors, who is Lord Mahavir Swami followers, and also very, very close to me, we intend to change lives.
Yeah.
Because with either a leg, a child can run.
That's true.
As we have fitted a leg on a child as young as 6, and on an elderly as old as 75 years. It's a life-changing thing. With the new arm, you can also drive a car. And with the leg, you can be like a normal person. This project will bring a big impact, because our research, we have found out that there are nearly 5,000 plus people who either require an arm or a leg.
Yeah.
And at one go, we are just able to do 250 to 300 patients. So next year we'll be doing 3 camps. Normally, before us coming on board, it was only 1 camp a year. But now we have tied up with an institution in India called Narayan Seva, whose main focus is in the health sector, especially in this. And now we'll be doing from next year 3 camps in a year. And I will urge Kenyans to come forward and register. There will be an advertisement coming in the nation tomorrow in the health sector, which will give the details of the registration. And it can be life-changing. So this camp has been going on for quite some time in Kenya, and we intend to continue. Plus, the impact it will bring to the physically challenged. There is also Jaipur food, which is based here also, and we are just supplementing. And we hope for the best. And I invite also Kenyans at large to come there and witness for themselves. We start at around 7 in the morning, and it will be till 6 o'clock, depends upon the number of people who are come. And see for yourself a child being fitted a leg and running, and the happiness and the joy, I think you will not get anywhere in the world.
That's true. I mean, it's not just the joy, but the satisfaction that you see, you know, in this person, in this child, and how you're able to change their lives, to do some of the things that they were not able to do, or to do it more easier. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. And even aside from the same, so you're saying this is for free? Right?
It's free, completely free.
It's completely free. But just to paint a picture so that people really see how impactful this is, ideally, how much would it cost to have, you know, either an arm or a leg or both? How much would it cost?
Normally, let's say if an arm or leg comes from India, it costs about $350, and the same item which comes from US, it will cost $500+. So of course we can see how then, you know, most families would not be able to, to afford this. So it's important, again, like you say, to have as many people come. So the camp will run on Saturday. On Saturday, 23rd, when we are doing the fitting for the patients who had been measured in April. And on the 24th, we'll be having new people coming in to be taken measurements.
All right. And then the fitting will happen after 3 months. After 3 months, because of, you know, all those things that has to happen.
Because they have to be made, it's made to measure.
Okay, I see that. And even aside from the same, so we have just come out from the longest drought here in the country. And one of the things that I've also seen is food distribution as well. Do you want to talk about that project, and which areas specifically do you focus on, and are there plans to also extend to different parts of the country as well?
I mean, for the last 1.5 years, our country has faced drought, and when people have been affected, drought and also the price increase, and it has affected lives of thousands of Kenyans here. So we started this distribution last year, and we have already distributed to nearly 200,000 families all over Kenya. Our distribution was mainly focused in the northern part of Kenya, Marsabit, Turkana, North Hor, Chalbi Desert, and then we went down to Kilifi, Lamu. We were also able to go to Boni Forest, Voi,
wow.
Machakos.
Yeah.
And we went to areas where I think the drought had affected the most. The last distribution we did was in end of, I think, mid of August, when we completed the distribution. And now we think the situation has somewhat improved, and there was a statement from the government that we expect a bumper a maize crop, and that will also hopefully bring down the prices of the maize flour. But normally what we do, we monitor the situation, because we have our good people, our volunteers who give us the feedback for the areas which are there. And we pray to the Almighty that, you know, the situation doesn't continue. And let's hope for the best.
I mean, there's some people who have also been displaced because of floods as well. The Met Department just recently gave a warning about, you know, possibility of having an El Nino, and we all know, you know, what that does to a lot of people. So it's like there's a lot of challenges, you know, left, right, and center, and unfortunately there's some people who are affected more as compared to the others. You are scattered in sort of like different areas, but are there plans to also just move across all the 47 counties?
Yes, definitely. You know, the main thing is, you know, the logistics to arrange this, and plus what we do, even the ration packs we give one-to-one to one-to-one family. I mean, the names are there, and then the families are there. So we see that it goes to the right person, right family. And I was in Ambosali recently, a month back, when we were distributing this, and we had 900 families coming for the distribution. We have people on the ground who are very helpful to us to prepare the list and everything. And what we do, we always come in during calamities in the country. Like the COVID, we came in, also we distributed ration packs there, and our signature project at that time was the distribution of the thermoguns. You know, at that time the thermogun was costing 15,000 shillings, which was not affordable by the schools. So we brought in the thermoguns, and we distributed to the schools, to the medical centers, which was also very, I mean, effective, because we need to measure the temperatures of the children, or take them to the hospital if they're high. So the floods, I mean, the El Nino is coming. That's what the government has said, the meteorology department has said. So we'll monitor the situation and then see, and we'll talk to our donors that look, now this is the situation. How do you help us? Because all our donations are local, or based local. We get support from the donors from various foundations, and we talk to them. We present our report, and then it's them to decide how to go about. But they've been generous, and I think Kenyans at large, we should all come out. Philanthropy is a big word, but it is very small. You don't require millions. You know, it's a saying in the Gita that whatever you do, just do it and leave it upon God. Because He's the only one we have to answer. And then we say tan man dhan, that is, you give yourselves with the heart, with the mind, and of course dhan means money. But you start with your family. Anything, any charity, you start with your family. There is no point in giving outside when your family members are suffering.
That's true.
And then you start with your family, you start, and then you go to your employees, and then you go to the country. So that's how we believe in. And but if we get more support from the government, especially, you know, in the logistics, in other issues where, you know, sometimes we are distributing and somebody comes and says, no, you cannot distribute because you have to enroll 1, 2, 3. So we say, no, we can't. This is our mandate that we have to give 1 to 1. And then sometimes we are told, leave it here, we will distribute. That we don't do, we just take it away. And but to now, to date, you know, distributing in various parts of the country, like in Turkana area, you will find 10 families here, another 30 kilometers, you find 10 families.
Yeah.
Because northern part of Kenya is the most affected.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised, there are 200 boreholes which are dead, which have to be revived. And of course, the county government has to do something.
Yeah.
And if they do it, it will be a big relief to them.
To the people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I think that speaks a lot to the role of partnerships. What is it that we can do together? Yes, there's that individual effort, and that is to help someone who's also close to you.
Yes.
Either a family member or your neighbor, or there's a video I've seen of a guy, I think it's on TikTok, who, I think something happened to his house and everything was taken away from him. So the place that he sleeps is not good. So there's this neighbor who would always go check out, on him, make sure that, he has food, he has at least water at the basic level. And it's a beautiful thing to see, on his face when he sees him and the food and all those things. Because again, a lot of people would say, and like the fact that you mentioned, listen, philanthropy does not have to be a big thing. It's the simple thing that you do to that person who needs your help at most. So you're saying partnership in terms of like the government to come in together. What about those people who are watching us and thinking, okay, and we come together and hold hands? What is it that you would say to them who are watching and thinking, okay, so then where do we start from? What is it that we do to help the people who are close to us?
I think the boreholes have to, the Ministry of Works, under who, or the water department, they should go and check out those boreholes. Because some of them may be just, a few things to be done here and there, and you can revive that borehole. There are some things where you will need the support from, let's say, the NGOs or institutions like us, which we can come forward. But just sitting there and doing nothing will not help anybody. Because if you see the Lake Turkana, although it's a freshwater lake, the water is not used well. Irrigation can be started there. What we need the government to do is that, handouts are not good in the long run.
Because we've seen food reliefs during drought season.
You see, let's say any part of Kenya, somebody has got a house, they can grow vegetables for themselves also, which will also be good, so that the child doesn't go to school empty.
On an empty stomach.
We have one home in Limburu, which is run by a beautiful lady who's got a heart of, she's got a good heart. She runs a home in uplands. What she has done, she has built up a big garden where she grows all the greens, and that greens supplement the food she gives to the 200 children she's keeping.
Oh, wow.
So we can start on that. Before, what we had is that when we had our rural homes, we had a place where we used to grow sukuma wiki and maize and everything, which could supplement. But now I think people are getting out of farming and saying, oh no, this is not for us. So it's time the government now has a program where they can say, okay, now let's get back to our roots.
And I like that, because again, at the end of the day, we need food at the very basic level. We talk about health, yes, that is also a human right, but food is one of the things. And what you're saying is, don't just give handouts, also teach the people what is it that they can do, because it's the communities that have the solutions. They know their problems and they have the solutions. So what they need ideally is the support from all this areas. Maybe resources sometimes might be limited to them, but they have the solution. So support them to get the solutions for their problems, but also other people can come in and help. Okay.
Just to add, we should not only say that the government should be doing X, Y, Z. We as Kenyans should also come in, like our institutions or other institutions, to supplement the government's efforts, because the government cannot be everywhere, and their resources are also limited in some way.
And like we're saying, at an individual level, because a lot of people would hear the term philanthropy and thinking, no, this is just for big corporations and big companies, and the government to also take up another role. But again, like you're saying this morning, there's something that you can do at an individual level. Maybe when you're walking to the bus station, there's always someone that you pass by, you know, there. Maybe they do not have food. You can easily just give them mandazi, right?
That's philanthropy.
That's philanthropy in itself. All right. So then we've talked about so many challenges, from education to health, to our young people again, who you know, struggling with so many other issues, unemployment. There's also the drug abuse and use. Drought, again, like we said, which has affected so many families. Millions of people have died from the same. So what is it that we can do? What are some of the approaches that we can do? Yes, philanthropy is one of the things. Also, educating people is one of the things. But what else can we, as a country, as a society, as people, do to sort of like tackle these problems, so that few years from now, like 5 years, 10 years, we are not talking about the same problems or same challenges that are affecting young people and even communities at large?
Yeah, the one thing which us as Kenyans we can do is to motivate our youths. Like, you know, if I'm a professional, if I'm in the field of accountancy or any other business, or I should have my heart to go to the schools, go to the universities, and give motivational speech. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to be a professional to give a motivational speech, but tell the students what is the world outside, because the world is not only the book. You know, there are some things we have studied, but it's not what is outside.
That's true.
We have our celebrities going same to the schools, to the universities, telling what we should be doing. The media can also play a part role, and of course now with the internet and everything, so much can be done for our people, especially the youngsters, you know, because we have a young population.
We're very youthful
and
population.
It requires them. I mean, the only thing they require is motivation. Somebody has not scored well. I mean, don't discourage him or her. Motivate them. Even the principals, they should motivate those students. No, don't worry. You've got these marks. There's still a chance. Do it. So that's what we should do, and that's also, we can say, philanthropy.
In one way or the other, it doesn't always have to be monetary. Okay, I see that. I see that. And even talking to these young people, especially when it comes to taking up opportunities, because majority of the times you talk to so many young people, they'll tell you, yeah, we're not given a space, we're not given these opportunities, we're not being given, is one of the things. But also for them to, you know, like you're saying, motivate them to, first of all, understand what the world is like, but also going after these opportunities. We were having a conversation just recently during the, you know, the climate, Africa Climate Summit, and these young people were saying, if they do not give you a seat at the table, bring your own table and bring your own seat, they will join. So going for these opportunities as well for the young people to also, again, because they know the challenges that they're dealing with. So what is it that you will tell them, these young people who are looking for these opportunities but don't know how or don't know where to go? What would you say to them?
I mean, even like us, you know, if you want to do a project, sometimes we are stuck that whom should we ask, or whom should we go to?
Who do you talk to?
And then we have to, as you, I mean, to get to an office in a government, you have to use a higher channel to see that your work, which doesn't involve any monetary impact. So same way the youngsters are facing that. You know, in the Africa, I mean, we saw that the frustration they had, that we have not given the opportunity to say something. So social media can be one platform where they can put it up, their concerns. And, you know, we said, okay, during the conference, Kenya is going to get this much money and that much money for the climate change. And now the government should come out, okay, we have got this one, this is what we intend to do. We have a youth ministry. They should be also taking up the challenge in how to bring about the youths. We had the youth conference recently, and I mean, I'm sorry to say, but we didn't have the youths participating in. You know? The youths, what I mean to say is somebody who is a normal person. Like, let's say I may be a youth, but I didn't know that how I could be part of that conference. And So that is one way, one place where the government should actually, if they want the impact, there should be youth coming from the ground level, not somebody who is known to XYZ. Yeah.
I see that. I see that. Give opportunities to everyone. It doesn't matter where they come from.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because again, like we said, at the end of the day, these are the people who know their issues and they have the solutions. All they need is support. All right. So as we bring this conversation to a close in terms of what we can do to serve humanity, to help one another, to hold each other's hand in terms of need. And we've seen this with Kenyans. We're very resilient, but you're also supportive. You know, do you remember the several projects that all Kenyans, you know, came together and supported one another? So when we look at the future, and this is in terms of partnerships and supporting one another, what is it that you want to see change? What is it that you want to see different, so that we don't just wait until something happens for all of us to come together? We can make that sort of like a habit, you know, to always come together and support one another. What would you say very quickly?
I think Kenyans are generous. Let's be frank.
That's
you know,
true.
no matter what, they do come in.
Always come together.
They're always coming. Yeah, I mean, and the best part is the media plays a very big role. I mean, you are the people who bring in Kenyans to bring in the millions. And of course, there are other foundations also. And also, I like to congratulate Nation Media Group for the Nation Media Foundation, which we intend to work with together. And also, we are thankful to Nation Media Group for participating, for joining hands with us in our every Tuesday, which there is an advert, it's not an advert, but a public statement which comes, and the Nation Media partly supports us for that. So the media plays a lot of role in this one. And, you know, whatever we are doing, whatever we are planning to do, and whatever is going to come, like, we are expecting the El Nino. So let's not wait till the last minute and then we say, okay, this has been affected. So if the El Nino is coming, the governments should be ready, and if they're expecting rains, or if there is something going to happen, flooding or like that, the people should be moved well in time. And the resources should be on the ground.
Those, I see that. I see. So don't wait until it's too late.
Until your house is on fire.
Yes, I see that. All right, but thank you so much for coming by this morning to just remind us how important it is for us, again, like I said earlier on, to hold one another's hand. Because again, you never know. Could be your immediate neighbor, could be a family member, could be, you know, the people in the society who need you the most. So it is important for all of us to hold each other's hand. So really, really appreciate that, Mr. Mukesh Desai, Charity Projects Coordinator, Giants Group of Nairobi, Twiga, for coming by this morning. And now I know there's that beautiful reminder, because again, some people might smile at you, but you don't know what they're going through. So, you know, being able to really understand one another and holding one another's hand is very important for all of us. Don't wait for the big corporations. There's always something that you can do as well. So have yourselves a lovely day ahead.
I just want to add one more
All right.
And thank you very
10
much.
seconds, yes.
There is a beautiful word which I would like to sentence, which a saint, you know, Lord Pramukh Swami Maharaj has said, "In the joy of others lies our own."
I mean, yes.
So that's takes everything, brings in everything.
I see that. I see that. Beautiful reminder over there. All right, so have yourselves a lovely day ahead. I'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, right here on Your World. But until then, again, a reminder, service to humanity. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.